Hey hobby pals, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Coco's Locos. An interesting video today. One of my things is I've been trying to improve my overall modelling skills, my weathering, my electronics, etc. And I was having sort out the train room the other day and I found a loco that I had never got out the box. I got it when I got my DCC controller, my NC power cab, and I got this loco at the same time because it was dirt cheap. And it was sound fitted, and I thought, yeah, great, that'll be my first sound fitted loco, fantastic. And then I got to the show that I was picking up from, which was the very last Wally show. I then found Anorak's Anonymous and bought 2 or 3 sound fitted US locos, HO, and that was it. So anyway, I found this loco the other day and I thought, you know what, I am going to use it as my test subject. I'm going to do some weathering on it, I'm going to do a bit of electronics work on it and try and kind of enhance it a little bit and learn some new skills. So that's what this video is all about. I've set myself 2 weeks to do it. Let's see how I get on. So here is the loco in question. It is a Class 47. I don't know what that means. I think it's DCC sound. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's a Railroad Class, enhanced delivery, County of Hertfordshire, Class 47 with sound. Awesome. As I said, I got this through the model centre. They do a really good service that they do pick up at shows. So if you live over outside the UK, it's really useful because you can order stuff on their sales and all that kind of stuff, and then you can pick up at show. And oh wow, those are lovely. I think they're like etched nameplates, attached nameplates using blue tack. Blue tack, really? Blue tack? All right, good friend super glue might be hitting those, but anyway, I'll do some research on that. Yes, I bought this because I pre-ordered I didn't pre-order it. It was out already, not like a pre-order new. I ordered. Wow, I forgot how cool that looked. Anyway, I'm going to get through this monologue. I promise. I ordered the NCE Power Cab as my first ever DCC controller. I mean, it's still going. I still use it. It's an incredible bit of kit. And I thought, you know what, I'll get a sound loco to go alongside it, and got to the show. I thought I'd pick this up, the power cab up on the last day and the last minute. And then I discovered the Anorak's Anonymous stand and purchased 3 second-hand DCC sound American locos, and the rest is history. So here we go. This is the City of Hertfordshire. A Class 47. I know absolutely nothing about this, but it's ridiculously light. I mean, that's insane. Bear in mind, the last loco I picked up was my new Acura Scale 47. So it's got it's quite cool. I really like the detail. Actually, it's very railroad. But I mean, that roof is phenomenal. Look at that. There's loads of like little bits to pick out with some weathering and stuff. Get some loads of like black powder, brown powder in the grills and everything, and the fans look super cool. Yeah, get the etched nameplate on here. It's going to look really good weathered. There's a bit of a cab there, a bit of detail inside the cab. Well, I mean, there's not at all. There's 2 seats. Doesn't matter because I'm not going to fit interior lighting. We can just get a little cab crew. We've got a little loose one, and I'm guessing the motor is in there. It's God. Those are what are those? They're like half and halves between like the D shape and the nice ones. Okay, we'll see what we can do with those. Even come out? Yeah, they'll come out. Yeah, I mean it's quite a big loco. It wasn't expensive, so yeah, I'm going to get it on the track and see what kind of sounds there are with it. Alrighty, so there she is up on the track. I think she looks pretty cool. It's quite plasticky, but it's kind of like a railroady lightweight loco, but I think with some weathering it's going to look cracking, especially that roof. I'm really excited to get involved and do some of that. Anyway, we're going to give her some noise. So number one was the engine start. So pretty cool. It's loud. Let's hear some horns. Awesome. Oh, let's give it some gas, see if she can move. Coming through my dodgy points. Radius 2 curves. Easy. Go the other way. Change that momentum setting. She goes pretty slowly. Wow. Over the dodgy points. Nice. All right. Let's turn the engine off. Very cool. All right, pretty happy with that. It's got no lights, so we need to address that. But I think the first thing we need to do is just get under the hood, have a little look. Yeah, next step. So we got inside the loco. Of course, I did the normal sort of man thing of just trying to unclip and pull the top off, and don't need instructions, etc, etc. Couldn't do it. Read the instructions, and it turns out you have to pull the buffers out. So yeah, that was a bit of a waste of time, but she's open. All looks good inside, actually. I'm pretty happy with the decoder because it's exactly the same base plate I did on my Railroad 73, so I should be able to just replicate how I did the directional lighting on that, which should be pretty cool. It's got the same plastic interior here that so if I wanted to I could pop out the windows, but actually when I'm weathering I quite like leaving the windows in and using a bit of IPA or something just to get rid of it, because it leaves like a weathered stain around the inside of the frames, which is really cool. I can drill out the lights on the front here to put in my micro LEDs. Yeah, so I think what I'm probably going to do first is attach the etched nameplates. I asked on Facebook what everybody uses, because I was just going to whack some CA on it just to stick them, but there was a few people saying that that's a bit dramatic, so I might just use a tiny bit of PVA or a bit of Ileens. I'll probably use a bit of Ileens, and get those set, and then what I'll do, I'll probably drill the holes out on here for the lights, and then I'll start weathering, I think. As I said, I'm trying to do this bit by bit through sort of 2 weeks in between my 2 weekly YouTube videos. All right, we'll find some tacky glue and get those nameplates on. They look very cool. Okay, so I'm probably going to start weathering. I'm just going to see how easy that is just to pop out. A bit of glue on the inside, but I don't want to break it, but it would be easier for the lights if I could get in there. That was pretty easy. All right. So that windscreen's actually come out quite easily, and then it's just a glue back in. And I'm actually going to probably use the back of those to shave off the back of those to get the lights in. Let's see if we can do the other side without too much damage. Yeah, nice. Okay. Pretty good. Don't even need to drill holes. I thought they were going to be needed to be drilled there, but they're not. So I can just get my LEDs in there. Make sure LEDs in that, and I can sort of get rid of these bits on the front here. And in theory, just pop the LEDs where these little knobs were that went through the holes. Okay, but weathering first. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. So I don't know how well this video will come out because of the noise wise. Actually, you don't need to hear me, and I'm probably going to mute it because I'm going to be watching, off to watch YouTube when I'm doing it. Craig's lovely beard down here. So I'm going to do some weathering. I'm going to just use some really simple black and white oils, and I've got a couple of, that's burnt sienna, and that one's burnt umber. So those are the four that I'm going to use. I have a really fluffy brush, I have a kind of smaller detailing brush, and then kind of one in between. I've got cotton buds, the most important thing for cleaning off your mess. I've got some little dabbers which I'll come on to a little bit later on. Use those later. Got some tweezers, got some kitchen roll, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Might do some powders later, but for the moment I'm just going to start doing the sides of my 47. So probably put on time lapse here, and I'll probably mute it because I don't want to get a copyright strike from the horse over here on TV. All right. I might be blocking it as well, I haven't got a clue. So I've done one side. These are oils, so I'm going to have to let these dry. I'm pretty happy about that. I haven't done this side yet. That's why I was holding this side. It's always useful to do that. It's really cold down here in the train room, so I will probably take it upstairs, let it dry up there just so I can crack on a bit better. But yeah, quite cool. I didn't mean to do little streaks down here that kind of came off the powders, but oh yeah, I'm super happy with that. All right, so the work continues. This time we're going to be working on the directional lighting is the aim. I've got my 73 that I managed to wire up exactly how I wanted it a few weeks ago. So I'm going to use basically the same thing because it's the same base plates. So I'm going to kind of copy what I'm doing. So resistor's going to go just here, and then light's going to go here, and then going to test the forward and back to make sure he's in the right place. Yeah, I'm going to use a 1 million resistor, and I've got just some little LEDs that should go nicely. Okay, I'm not going to film my soldering because I haven't got my tripod, and I'm terrible at soldering as well. So we've got her up on the track, soldered in. Let's give her some noise, and let's give her some lights. All right, so we've got that is forwards. Let's see which way she goes. Great. So we know this end's forwards, the non-motor end is forwards. Okay, so I've just wired in another LED because it's 2 on each side. Let's hit those lights. Yeah, okay, so we've got 2 forward facing. Switch to reverse. Hit those headlights. Not working, brilliant. Okay, let's try the reverse lights. Okay, so I've just added in my second pair. I disconnected the front for the moment, just added in the second pair. So if I've got it in reverse, I hit my headlights. I've got my reversing lights there. Okay, great. If I can. All right, for those of you who are interested at all, I've got common positive wired in, capacitor, resistor just there, front 2 there, rear 2 soldered together there on the second function, and then I've just put all 4 of the compositive together, and I'm going to just solder those onto the capacitor, but I'm going to shorten the capacitor a little bit just to try and keep things nice and tidy. I'm going to check my solder joints and give it a test. Reverse, forwards, reverse, forwards. Great. Okay, lights are good. Okay, so we are at the final stages of putting this Class 47 together and enhancing it, hopefully. So this is my weathering job, and I'm so happy with myself. I think it looks great. I looked at 2 photos, and this is kind of exact. Do you know what I was worried about? I was worried about the roof, actually, because it's a white roof and it looked really tacky and plasticky. But actually, just with a bit of weathering around the chimney and stuff, I'm not sure about the vents, the fans, sorry. But anywho, I was pretty happy with it. I found a photo on Pinterest that I used for it and tried to copy it relatively closely. But anyway, happy with the weathering. Picked myself up. I was ordering the new snowplows, not the new snowplows, the second batch of snowplows from Scale, and I really like these Deltic drivers, so we're going to pop those in. I've blacked out the backs of the windscreens, and I've also sanded down these little nubbin bits that were on there, but they're actually going to give me a really nice place just to glue the lights. We have lights all set up, 1 and 2 capacitors are in, got my fronts, got my seats, got my cab crew. All right, let's get some work done. Where's the super glue? The little drivers I thought were brilliant for this 55. I'm an incredibly Rule 1 modeler here, so pardon if anybody's really offended by putting a Class 55 Deltic crew in a Class 47. I have no idea if they ran together on the same railways or anything, but I don't care because these figures are so cool. And this guy here, let's see if we can get a bit of focus on him. He's pouring his thermos flask. Oh, love it. Love it. Right, figures are glued into their seats. I used a bit of good old faux full Alliance tacky glue and then go over the top with the super glue. I'm probably going to use the CA on the lights, which is next. So here she is up on the rolling road. Super happy with her. Really enjoyed doing the weathering. My first real attempt at weathering. A few little thumbprints and stuff around that I'm going to have to go and sort out, but yep, as I said, learning new skills. Let's give us some sound, shall we? Let's see if our lights are working. So there we go, got our lights on one side. Let's see if the directional lighting is working. Yeah, okay. I'll run her in for a little bit before I get her up on the track and actually do a proper little sesh with her. Sorry for the shaky camera work here. So if you followed to the end of the video, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If you are enjoying my content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I want to just share like maybe 2 or 3 takeaways from this experience. Number one is find some good YouTube videos to follow. I'm going to link the videos that I used in the bottom. For my weathering, I used Emperor's Path videos and Ivana's videos on McKinley Railway, and my wiring video, I can't remember the name, but I'll link it below anyway. Number 2 tip is oil paints take a long time to dry. Just be patient with them, don't touch them, you'll get thumbprints on them like I did, etc. And number 3 is just practice your soldering before you go straight onto that base plate and start wiring in resistors and stuff. Anyway, as I said, I hope you enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed enhancing my very first sound fitted loco. So yeah, see you on the next one. Thanks very much.